see if we can rest in the humility a little bit. Sometimes we need that. The Dharma practice is encouragement, upliftment when we need that. Then sometimes humility and sober, the sense of looking deeply reality, we need that. So dance of all this, contemplation of death and impermanence. Really look at the reality, what's coming, a sense of impermanence, your own impermanence. So I want to talk a little bit about this specific karma called Penchekide in Tibetan, projecting karma. That is the last moment of consciousness or karma. Project means projecting to the future. Karma that projects to the future life. So each of us carry that. Last time I really tried to prove, not I, but the traditional way to prove how consciousness continues. Proceeding moment is the cause of the consciousness of this moment. Like think about it right now, proceeding moment. So everything comes from somewhere. This conservation theory. So in terms of consciousness, also continue. You trace back current consciousness, proceeding consciousness, moment to moment. Consciousness, then at the time of the baby, then the back. At the time of conception, eggs and sperm joined, that consciousness coming from the proceeding moment of the consciousness from that. Just pops up in the middle of nowhere, nothing, miraculously. There is a cause for that. That is called Penchekide. That previous moment of the consciousness. At the time of death, throw you to the bardo, the consciousness at the bardo wheel, completely no control over that. Then that brings to rebirth. There are many ways to talk about. So there are 3 contemplation we need to do, or 3 realization we need to have in terms of death and impermanence. If you're not sure, please go over to my book or somewhere. Always talks about. First one is death is definite. We cannot avoid. Then at the time of death is not definite. We don't know when it happens. Maybe next moment or next day or 1 year from now. Then the third one is at the time of death. What helps? Your possession, your bank account helps you, or your beloved, your husband or wife helps you, your children, grandkids. Maybe we can count on grandkids. No, we cannot. Even your body, which you cherish the entire life, will abandon you, cannot help you. Nothing helps. But for Dharma practice, Dharma helps you. Okay, so that's the 3 contemplation we need to do. Again and again, death and impermanent meditation is the Buddha's first teaching and the last teaching. Very important. And we are talking about this third one, how Dharma can help. Maybe each of you might have idea. That's why you are here. Maybe that's the reason why we are entering into Tantra. We want you to be clear about that as well. I started talking about the Penchekide, moment to moment consciousness, right? Anytime between those moment to moment, death happens, right? I don't know when. So that means proceeding moment of the consciousness influence the consciousness at the time of death. If we habitually have some kind of habit, like we carry habit, thinking about whatever, this and that, so that the mind throw you to the bardo and the reverse. So we have no guarantee. We dream about, at the time of this, I'm going to do Tonden, I'm going to do Guru Yoga, that beautiful, clear light, I'm going to see. Nothing like that. Believe me. So chaotic. Okay, only your propensity and this habit. Like look at your dream. Can you recognize dream? Okay, bardo is very similar to the mental state of dream. No control over, because of the mental body. So there's no physical body, whatever mind goes. So my point is, and this last moment of the consciousness is so important. In that sense, every moment we have to create a new habit, so to speak, Dharma habit, virtuous thought. And each one is different. Each one has a kind of inclination toward a specific practice. For example, some people are really drawn to Tonren practice. Then at the time of the death, if you are able to really follow that habit comes up, then we can purchase. Or Guru devotions, faith in the Gurus, inseparable from identities and teachers, Buddha's faith, that's also virtuous thought that helps to have a good rebirth and so forth. And also lifespan. We think like we can extend our lifespan or something. We have some kind of optimistic idea. We go to Lama and ask, give me a practice to extend my health. No, actually, essentially, we cannot extend any lifespan. We already have this like a bank account or battery from previous life, certain battery, which we don't know how much battery left. We cannot extend. Maybe we can diminish battery, use up more quickly. In that sense, it's so precious. Each moment is the one we have to really pay attention. Penchekide, projecting karma, the idea of that is very important at the time of death. That's why Dharma practice like this, remind it again and again and contemplate and keep our motivation always fresh and genuine is very important. That's maybe first one way to explain how Dharma can help. Because if we don't have this, then at the time it's automatic, right? It's automatic. Doesn't help anything. Okay, that's most of people do. Then second one, this is very profound and important to know. At the time of death, many of you might have heard my teaching on highest yoga tantric point of view. At the time of the death, all the elemental dissolution happens, right? One by one, dissolve. Then this so-called clear light of death, this subtlest mind, the experience, all the element disintegrate. Then prana started gather. Then at the time of death, everybody experience is the word, quote, quote. Most of them are not recognized, but it happened automatically. So this clear light of death is useless if you don't know that is the great potential to transform to Dharmakaya. Most of people not making use, never heard of that clear light of death or opportunity, those things. But for us, we are having right now, and also tantric practice is a practice for that. So this clear light of death at the time of death. This I said useless. Yes, useless if we don't recognize. But for us, tantric practitioner, we can make use of it. Because this is called approximate to the actual clear light, very similar to the actual clear light, which is Dharmakaya. So we can transform death, clear light of death or death into Dharmakaya, Buddha mind, then transform the Bardo, the intermediate state, to Sambhogakaya, enjoyment body, and transform this reverse into Nirvana Kaya. So that's the practice we do in Tantra, highest yoga Tantra. For example, Vajrayogini practice, which we are entering. Really, we go into that purpose. This is one of the most important purpose to practice sadhana, Vajrayogini practice, for example. So that's the kind of tantric point of view. We can make use of that moment. If we have that knowledge and the entire life, rest of life, we practice, we get used to it. We know what's happening. And also dissolution states. I explained quite a number of times how it's appear. So it's not a surprise. Even these fierce appearance come, then you can recognize, I practiced this one. This is supposed to, okay, earth element is dissolving. Water element started to dominate. Then I'm experiencing this earthquake-like appearances. You can observe. That's Mahamudra practice helps that one. You stay grounded, then become lucid. You can look at appearance as appearance. You don't need to sucked in, completely fear or the cognitive fusion, I call. You can observe lucid, relaxed manner. I know it's may not easy, but at least you went through many times. Actually, once we get sadhana practice, that practice every day. So you get it become automatic. When actually happens, then that's really benefit. We know what we have been doing. So I call the Kagneni Ho. We are practicing for the Kagneni Ho, the last moment. Automatically, everything started to dissolve. And then I manifest this clear light of death, which is very close. We can make use of it. So that's the kind of tantric point of view. We can make use of death